Tux is being a cute little ball. Okay, how about we play a game, shall we? This one. Over here. And yes, for the record, that clicking sound has been going off in my headphones for the entire stream. Would you like to play a game? Oh, you choose to share the rewards? Oh, okay, interesting. How about a nice game of chess? So, first off, we're going to check out Mosaic of the Strange, which is like a Picross / Minesweeper hybrid, according to the description. And we're going to be using those Minesweeper type rules of thumb to help Special Agents Cullen and Brady investigate a murder, apparently. I'm not quite sure how you use Minesweeper logic to investigate a murder, but we will find out. Developed by Mark French, published by Divide the Plunder. Thank you very much to Keymailer for the key. I forgot to put hashtag Keymailer in my title. Now that you know about AI agents impersonating people to steal data from companies, you're terrified of job agents being a front for stealing your information. I know, it's like people create these things to be helpful and useful, and then somebody else goes, I can profit from that, and turns it into something that nobody can use because it can no longer be trusted. That's effectively what happened to mobile games and social media. And, in fact, mobile phones and emails, to a certain degree. If Salthea was playing chess, you would know it was April Fool's. I mean, I know the rules of chess. I know how the pieces are allowed to move. That means I can play chess, right? AI could replace recruiters, but isn't, so that annoys you too. Yeah, I actually decided not to apply for a couple of jobs where they basically wanted you to include in your application why you thought the use of AI was great and how it could help improve your efficiency in the job. And I was like, well, that means I don't want this job. Bye. Turns out people just can't be fucking trusted with public goods. Exactly. You applied for a job today that had the opposite. Fingers crossed you get it then. Fingers crossed. Alright, let's jump on into this game. Let me know how the audio is. I can only change the sound effects or the music separately, but I can also change the level overall in OBS if I need to, so just give me a heads up. In the meantime, let's jump in. Oh! Oh no, I wanted to restart. How do I restart? Reset game. Because it accidentally jumped me in when I was just doing the settings earlier. So, hello? I went to the settings and then it just started playing the opening video and I was like, no, I didn't say start game, I said do settings. Okay, here we go. Except it's already missed the opening video again. Okay, hang on. When all else fails, force quit. Start again. You would have sent in an essay about how you were looking forward to AI replacing HR, middle and upper management. I mean, I was tempted to and say something along the lines of, you know, it can be utilised in certain arenas if it's done well and ethically and with consideration for its limitations. But I kind of figured that that was going to just not get me an interview, and I wasn't interested in wasting my time writing an application that wasn't going to get me anywhere. VGen is an artist platform completely against AI. Oh, that'll be great. With luck, they'll replace Etsy. I've never heard of it. I need to be aware of these places. I need to support them. Sheep198, hello. Wild Harley is taking a programming adjacent class this semester, and the professor encouraged using AI to help with homework, and I'm just like, no, I don't think I will. Get AI to write up the scathing review of their utilization and submit that. I mean, AI can be used. Don't get me wrong. I do think that it can be used, but it's not actually AI. It's just algorithmic. And second of all, it can't be used in a creative space. But it can be used to help you find that one syntax error that you can't find in your 20,000 lines of code, for example. That would be a useful way to... That would be a good way to use AI, when you know that there's something not right and you can't find it. Something like that. You just found VGen. They have a boatload of commissions and shops for twist assets, emotes, overlays, etc. But they also have writing, music, and more. Nice! An IDE can do that without AI. See, now you're getting into a level of complexity that I don't know what an IDE is. But that's why I hate the use of the term AI, because it's become this all-encompassing term for things that don't actually fit the qualification. Alright, let's try this again. Another day, another weird one. At least this one's not messy. That makes it weirder, don't you think? Are we looking at a suicide here? My gut says no. This guy took a lot of effort to make sure he wasn't found. I'm not sure. Let's investigate the body and see if we can find the cause of death. You are not coroners. How to play. Fill the grid by turning every square either dark or light. Numbered clues tell you how many light squares there are in the immediate 9-square area, including the central square. You need to fill in both light and dark squares to solve the puzzle. Use WASD and the mouse wheel to navigate the board. Don't love the WASD, but okay. The board is divided into hundreds of smaller regions that can be solved independently. Clues only tell you how many light squares are inside that region. Okay, interesting. Integrated development environment for software development. Ah! Notepad with extra fluff. AI can be used in a creative space in the same way that you can just put everything in your pantry into your blender and consume the results. Can does not mean should. Can does not mean should. You don't like that what we used to refer to as visual effects in editing is now just called AI? The amount of work still being done with special effects in movies and so on, and then nothing's just called AI. But it's not being done by AI necessarily. What? Too many numbers? This is the Minesweeper aspect of it, right? So, if we... Oops, okay, I've got to right click. If there are 0 surrounding this one, that means that all of these are not relevant. Which means that these 3 are, because they're the only 3 squares left touching this. Right? It's Minesweeper. This one is already touching this one, so none of these can be clues. Where else is somewhere easy, actually? Let's do... Where are the easy ones? Are there any more zeros? Or are there any 9s? 0s or 9s? I'm not seeing any 0s or 9s. Oh, there's a 9. Okay. And then we've got sections where there's no numbers. Oh, there are some numbers. Okay. The whole AI bubble feels really sunk and cost fallacy. Yes, and unfortunately they're also destroying the environment around where they've got their server farms, and like the people who live there literally can't access their own water supply. But that's a whole different thing. Let's not get into it. I don't do those rants on stream. Okay, so we've got 2 is already touching 2, so these are not 1s, which means that this one is... Oh, wait, what? No, it's not. Oh, you're already touching 3. Right, okay. That means this one is, which means these 3 are not. Often. I don't do it often, yes. My birthday coming up, rant all you want. Yeah, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to escape all that shit. Okay, so 4. We're touching 1 and there's only 3 left, so these 3 have to be light. And this one now is already touching 4, so these 3 have to be dark. This one is touching 1, 2, 3, 4 already. This one's touching 1. Which means that one of these 2 is light, but... Or one of these 3 here is light, but only 1. This one is touching 2. Which means all of these have to be light. Which means these have to be dark. This is already touching 4, so these have to be dark. You're fascinated to learn this week that DC is a Jungian rather than a Freudian. I think both of them have been largely debunked, haven't they? So this one wants to touch 3 and is touching 1, so both of these have to be light, which means that this is now touching 2, so all of these have to be dark. This one is touching 3, so this has to be light. What else? What else? What else? Game wishlisted and will likely buy you like these logic puzzle games. A bundle of these. Oh, there's a bundle. Hang on. Is there? Oh, there is this demo for this as well. You can check out the demo. Mosaic of the Strange and Polymines 2 bundle. Or the Endless Mosaic bundle, which looks like it's all of this particular developer's games. Mosaic of the Strange, Proverbs, Mosaic of the Pharaohs, and Mega Mosaic. This one was released in December last year, so it's the most recently released of them. But yeah, there's a demo if you want to just check that out. You threw some money at Esoteric Ebb earlier today. Yeah, that one does look pretty great. It looks like a lot of fun. Also, Chance of Senna is on the Humble Choice this month, and so Napsa has sent me his copy of that. So I've got to add that to my library, and that looks like a fun puzzle game for us to do. You've done Logic Town so many hours. Yeah, that's one of his as well. Okay, so where are we at? Only one of these 4 squares can be light. And in fact, one of these 4 squares has to be light. I'm not seeing a lot. Oh, hang on, here we go. We can narrow this down because this one's already touching 2 squares. And there's a 0, which means that none of these can be light. Which means that these 3 have to be light.
Then if that sort of life is what you wish, you may grow up to be a fish.
You'll finish your last bundle purchases before you give these a go. Oh my gosh, Firefly Bug, that is so disciplined. That is so self-disciplined. I have got so many things on my to-play list and I just keep jumping around. You watched Aurum play it was pretty amazing. If it wasn't so much reading, I would happily play it, but I don't know about streaming it. Greenie Trini had the same comment. He did stream it and just lots and lots of reading and talking. Hello, Manaway. Thank you very much for your resubscription. 30 months. Holy my goodness. My goodness gracious me. That's 2.5 years. The Full of Cats series by Dev Cats. Nice. So what was that you were saying? It already touches 3. What already touches 3? Or have I already moved away from that? Oh, this one does already touch 3. You are correct. I think that must also be the same one that DC was talking about. Such a good set of games. Yes, I needed to scream that. You love the Dev Cats. I'm not familiar with those ones. It is like Minesweeper, yes. You have games from last year you still have to start playing. Meantime, you have 120 hours in only in the last 2 weeks. You have games from last year you have to start playing. I have games from many years ago that I have yet to start playing. Okay, so how many are you touching? You are touching 3. So we need 1 more. One of these has to be light. This one is already touching 4, so it can't be those ones, which means it has to be this one, which means none of these can be light. Backseat gaming here. Games like puzzle games, I don't mind people backseating. Although I wouldn't necessarily call that backseating. I like these kinds of puzzle games because there's the potential for chat to play along.
Let me in, please.
Oh, you've got to finish the Gemcraft Hidden Cat games. They're fun. They are lots of fun. Manaway made sunny side up eggs. Yummy, yummy. Pun Creates, hello. Welcome on in. Thank you very much for the raid. Hello, it's Kick. Pun Creates has been streaming Oxygen Not Included. Ooh. What asteroid are on? What are you building? What are you doing? How many dupes died? Tell me all the stuff and the things. But also, if you need to run away, do that too. Assuming you can even hear me. I don't know whether you've joined the stream yet. Those 3 have to be lights. Oh. No. I just want to go back to neutral, please. Thank you. Because this is already touching 1. Okay. You can't believe Gemcraft snuck in a tearjerker in one of their cat games. The one with the memories? Yeah, that one was good. It was delightful. I need to see how mermaids, the mermaids one is going. Mermeows. Sunnyside eggs on Danish rye bread. Nice. So yes, thank you very much, Raiders. Welcome on in. We are currently doing some first looks tonight. This one is Mosaic of the Strange. We're currently investigating a dead body to find clues. by Minesweeper puzzles, because that makes complete sense. Nobody ever said computer games had to make sense. You're doing the lab run, setting up a bunch of farms, going to space and taking over planets. Hooray! No deaths yet. Yet. It's Kick, thank you very much for the check-in. So yeah, welcome on over. We're doing this one, and then we're also going to be checking out Railroad Corporation 2, Hotel Architect, and Everwind. Not necessarily in that order, and not necessarily tonight, but as many of them as I can get through tonight. Using Minesweeper, which is the same way the real cops do it. Danish rye bread is different than what people normally refer to, is it? Yeah, the French will get on, happily have debates with you over what is and is not bread as well. They're dupes, give them time. Yes. Alright, so where did I get up to? Okay, so you are touching 2 and you are touching 2 and you both need to be touching 3. This one needs to be touching 5 and is touching 3. Okay, that doesn't help me. This one has to be touching 5 and there's only 5 squares left, so that does help. About 3/4? No, not yet. I mean, I have to assume that we're then going to go out here. Region 2, see? Region 2, Region 4, Region 1, there's different regions. Five on the right is easy to solve. This 5? Not as easy as it might have looked. Or this 5, same thing. This one is. That's a good call, checking out these edge regions. The one I just did, yeah. If there was a 6 on the edge, that would also be easy to solve. There's a 6 here. That's not the same. 6 on the edge is really easy. Yeah, the green is the solved part, not the black. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 9, this one's 8, and this one's 8. So we don't know yet which one isn't. Yes, we do. We know that this one is. Because this is a 1. And the 8 needs to have only one not light square, which means that only one of these two can be a light square. And it also means that one of these two has to be a light square, which means absolutely none of these can be light squares. Rice, sourdough, ooh, yum. So where does that leave this 5? No, we can't do that yet. We can't solve that yet. All right, what about this 8? You think it solves the 4? No, it doesn't. Not yet. This one's touching 5 potentials. This one's touching... This one's only touching 4. Yep. Can you mention that set of 3 3s? 3 3s. Yes, you can. but these ones can't be, which means these ones have to be. Good catch, yes. And that means that this one is already touching 4, so not these, so that one. There we go. I think that's one of the things I love about these sorts of games, is that you can't always solve it from where you are. Sometimes you have to solve other things and work your way back to it. So that's not one. Okay, so this 8... Two of those 3 have to be lights, but we currently don't have any indicator as to which ones they are. The 5 is already touching 3. This 5 is already touching 3, which means both of these have to be lights. This 4 is already touching 4, which means that can't be light. Same with the 5. This 5 is already touching 4 and needs one more, so it has to be this one. Chat brain activate! Yay! Greetings, Sophia Tux. Oh, and chat. Hello, Periapsis. How are you doing? Menaway that says that was a good breakfast. 2 sunny side up eggs, 1 with mackerel and tomato, and 1 with salami. Nice. Yeah. See, I just do eggs on toast with cheese. I'm not that adventurous. Mackerel. Interesting. Alright, so where are we at? This 4 has 4 already, as Wanderer just said, so these ones can't be. Which means this one has to be. This 3 is already touching 2, so only one of these 3 can be one. 4 slices of bread, 2 with eggs. Nice. You have cereal every breakfast, every day. I either have muesli with yogurt or I have toast with either peanut butter or Vegemite. But some days I will have eggs on toast instead. And so that means that this is our not light square around this 8. So these 2 are light. Which means this 3 is now already touching 3, so these 2 are dark. You see how this goes, chat? Cereal to you is a candy snack. It depends on the kind of cereal you have available to you. In Australia, we have many, many cereals that are not candy snacks. In fact, we have very few that are candy snacks, although I think there are probably more now than there were when I was growing up. Alright, let's have a look at this 7. Which is touching 5 already, which means these 2 are light. This 5 is touching 5 already, which means these are all dark. This 5 is touching 4 already. So one of these 2 is light. This 7 is touching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is dark, so this is light. The 5 is touching 4 already. So one of these 2 is light. You only eat non-sugar cereal. There are so few anymore, especially since the Kellogg's factory in Canada shut down and most of Kellogg's is now dust by the time it gets here. Oh no. Alright, let's hop over to this 6. What have we got over here? The 6 is already touching 3. So 3 of these 4 have to be lights. Almost every person you met who tries to explain Vegemite talks like it's nasty, but if it's so nasty, why would it be so often used by them? The thing about Vegemite is that it's a very salty taste, and it's somewhat of an acquired taste. But it's also something that people need to be shown how to spread it, because it is not jam. And more often than not, people who try it once and think it's vile and never consider trying it again, it's because they spread it too thick. But I've also found that there seems to be like this Vegemite versus Marmite thing, and like I don't think I've met or spoken to anybody who likes both Vegemite and Marmite. We used to have Promite as well, and my brother used to prefer Promite, and I couldn't stand it. And I like Vegemite. And I don't like Marmite. But yeah, most of the time if you encounter someone who has tried both Vegemite and Marmite, they like one and hate the other. I haven't encountered anybody who likes both or is indifferent to both. It's very much a love one, hate the other. Circly, hello! Spread it as if it's the last jar of Vegemite in the world. Yeah, very, very thin. And it is way better with a layer of butter on your hot toast. Layer of butter and then a thin layer of Vegemite. Best hangover cure ever. Vegemite toast. I guarantee it. Right, dark green 5, bottom middle of the screen. Yeah, we can have a look at... Oh, the dark green 5. Which, there's two. This one? You're actually a little disappointed that the Danish government still haven't added a sugar tax and released the nut tax. Taxing nuts and not sugar is a bit of a problem. Why are they taxing nuts? Yeah, do they even sell Cheerios in Australia? You don't think you've ever heard Marmite or Promite? But Promite is no longer available. That was one that was on the shelves in like the 90s, 80s and 90s. Marmite is still available. I think that's a British product, where Vegemite is an Australian one, but they are both available. Sugar tax is a huge problem though. It's made the UK products replace sugar with things like stevia, which is absolute hell for some of us. I actually prefer real sugar over artificial stuff because I can taste the artificial stuff and it's vile. And the artificial stuff is usually sweeter than sugar, and I already do not have much of a sweet tooth. I do not need it to be any sweeter than sugar. Thank you. This is the biggest Sudoku you've ever seen. Toasted bread dry, then add scraped Vegemite topped with melted butter. I don't know about that. The butter helps the Vegemite spread evenly. Stevia is a artificial sugar. It's still a natural plant-based product as far as I understand. And there's one that starts with T that I can taste immediately. Cannot stand it. Also, hello, Dark Arak. Welcome on in. Sounds like by not trying either, you've successfully dodged a controversy. Well, except for the fact that Vegemite is the best hangover cure. It's also a really good cure if you've got a dehydration-based headache. Doesn't have to be a hangover. A dehydration-based headache, Vegemite toast and a glass of water, or Barocca, and you're golden. I hate the taste of certain kinds of artificial sugar. Agreed, me too. Vegemite and Old Silk are best avoided. DC! I revoke your citizenship. Stevia in particular also induces insulin resistance. Wow. Barocca! Barocca is great. But Vegemite's also full of vitamin B, which is why it works really well. Alright, anyway, let's get back to this game. This one is touching 2 and needs to touch 5. Yes, you're right, Wanderer. All of these need to be light. Which means this is... Oh, no. This one here is dark. Gives you back your BB bounce, exactly. So that now means that all of these are dark. All of these are dark. And these are light. Okay. What have we got here? All of these are light, which means all of these are dark. And this has to be light, which means these have to be dark. Now, what is going on down here? All of these are light. And what have we got? What have we got to narrow the field down here? Not much here yet. How many is that? Six. That is touching 3. So all of these. That is touching 3. So only one of these is not light. That is already touching 3, so that answers that. What else have we got that's showing us its answers already? Nothing. Alright, let's have a look up here. One of these is light and one of these isn't. What is this one here? I currently don't have any way to narrow these down. Let's have a look over here. What have we got? A 5 that's already touching 3, but that doesn't help. 4 that's already touching 2, that doesn't help. This one has to have these 3. Is that the one you're talking about, DC? This one? Now this one is already touching 4. This one is touching 4. This one is touching 3. That doesn't help. Yet. This one is touching 2, so that doesn't help yet. This one is touching 2, so that doesn't help yet. Oops. The only 4 at the top is solved. This one? Oh, so it is. Whoops. So that means that none of these can be, which means this one is. Which means these are not. Which means this one is. These are, so this isn't. These are not. And this is not. And these are not. No, it's not actual Minesweeper in that there's no bombs. But it's the same premise. It's the same process of logic. Okay, what have we got down here then? Yes, Tux, you're being very cute. Pretzel Tux. What am I missing up here? Oops. Oh, just do this, thank you. Okay, so one of these two has to be light. Which means that these aren't. In Minesweeper, the number can't be positive, but in this one it can be. Well, yeah, so we either, in Minesweeper, you either mark it as a suspected bomb or you mark it as safe, and we are effectively marking as light and dark, so it's the same. You can mark it safe or not safe. By the 0 can be solved. Good catch, thank you. Which means that so can these. We don't have any more 8s, 9s or 0s, do we? Because 8s and 9s and 0s are very nice. But no, we don't. The 5, you say? Ah, yes. So that also then solves the 2. And the 1. Which also solves the 3 and the 4. And the other 2, indeed. And I think the 3, yes. And I think this 3, yes. 4 next to the 2 is solved. It is. Which also solves the 2. Other 4. What other 4? Or are you talking about the one down here? The 6 next to those 2 3s, I don't know what you mean. I don't see a 6 near two 3s. I mean, there's this one. It's not really near 2 3s though. So yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more than that for that one. How are we going with this? Ah, the 6 has got... No, can't solve that yet. When you said there's this one. Oh, that was this one? No, not really. Because one of these has to be dark. Actually, one of these has to be dark. I see what you mean by partially solving it. The upper of the diagonal 2's good catch, which also solves the lower. And also solves that 3, and also solves then that 3. So all 3 of those then have to be dark, which solves the 2. And solve the 4, which solves that 4. And solve that 2. Can solve that 5. And that 4. I know you guys were pointing elsewhere, but we've got this now. I'm going to see how far I can go with this. So that solves that 6. And that 4. And that 6. And that 4. And that 5. And that 4. Okay, so that's that corner. Now, where were we over here? This 4 is solved, which solves that 3. This is what I always used to find with Minesweeper too. Like, you get to a certain point and they just all unlocked each other. Might be a struggle to get to that point, but at a certain point they all just fall one after the other, after the other, after the other. I think this 5 is solved. Yes, it is. Which also solves this 5. Which also solves that 3. We haven't found the unlock point for this stuff yet. Wanderer. That solves that 5. Which also solves that 3. Yes, it can. This is true. Oh, hang on. No. This 2 is already solved. Which also solves this 2. Solves that 3 and that 6 in one fell swoop. Can solve the 6. And I think those are the ones that you were talking about. If you have already pointed one out and I've missed it, feel free to repeat. Because the board's changed a lot. So I'm not sure where we're at. Only one of these can be light. And only one of these can be light. There's a 4 above where you just were, but you don't know how to specify it. It has a 3 directly above it, up here. Number 3 right there, I'm pointing at it. Hello, Galactic, how are you doing? Nice, good catch. You're good, me? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I have an adorably cute cat. I have a fun little logic game. I'm pretty good. We have a giveaway on the go. Exclamation mark giveaway. There, I think the first half of the giveaway information is pinned in chat, but there are 2 parts, so exclamation mark giveaway will tell you the rest. If you would like to enter the giveaway to win some of the game keys we earned from Daredrop last month. Angel Mart says, I've never played Minesweeper and I'm not clear on how it works, but you enjoy me clicking things randomly to you and solving things because you can see that's what you are doing. Would you like me to walk you through it? Or are you happy to continue not being clear on how it works? I'm more than happy to explain how the logic works, if you would like me to. Everybody else knows how it works, you don't want to derail that. That's everybody else who's chatting might know how it works, but that does not mean that everybody knows how it works. So, the way games like this work is the numbers tell you how many of their adjacent squares in this game are light squares. In Minesweeper, that's how many surrounding tiles are bombs. So, for example, when we first got started, we started here because 0 means that all adjacent squares around this 0 is a total of 9 squares, right? There are 9 squares in total because it includes the square itself. So this says 0, which means that we can eliminate every single square in this block. And because we've eliminated these 6 tiles here, that means that these 3 are these 3 here. Because they can't be any of the ones that are touching the 0. Right? And then similarly with the 9 means that every single block is a yes, is a light square. So when we're looking at solving these sort of things up here, we're now in a space where we have to look at how many are already lit versus how many are not, because we've already started solving it. So for example, down here, there are 9 potential squares touching the 6. 4 of them are already lit. So we need 2 more. So we know that 2 of these 3 here have to be this colour, and 1 of them has to be the dark colour, but we don't know which 2 of the 3 those are yet. And we have to solve some of the other ones and work our way backwards to figure that out. You never, ever, ever have to guess in a game like this, ever. You can, but you never have to. You can always solve it. You just sometimes have to solve somewhere else and work your way back. What Sylphia is saying is that she is a witch and we must burn her. Could just send her to the beach for a tan. I actually haven't been to the beach to a really, really long time. Does that make sense, Angel Mart? Mastani, hello? Please don't send me to the beach with cooking oil. That definitely does not sound fun. In Minesweeper, you often do have to... Yeah, I did find that with Minesweeper because they do these big open spaces. Mostly, you think you're just old. Bah. It's a bit like Sudoku and other kinds of games where you probably have to try it to understand it. And speaking of which, this game does have a demo, so feel free to check out the demo and figure it out for yourself. Because the other thing I was saying is that, so if this 3 here on the edge right now was a 6, that's already solved. Because these 3 on the edge don't count, so then all of these 6 would be lit. So there's little tricks like that you pick up. Yeah, Minesweeper does occasionally get to... Yeah, because they do that thing where you tap on an open space and it like opens up this whole thing. They don't fill the whole space with numbers in Minesweeper. In Minesweeper, there are also real bombs. If you lose the game, you die in real life. This version is a bit more forgiving. No. Oh, what's this, though? What? We can have different colours? What do the different colours do? We can mark it up. They've got markers here if we need to make notes for ourselves. I hadn't even noticed that. So this game is called Mosaic of the Strange. We are currently investigating a dead body through Minesweeper logic. So can I just draw on it? Like, can I just go... Oh, I can! I can just draw on it. I can draw connection lines if I need to. Mouse 1 and 2 can be different colours. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Huh. There you go. You can make notes for yourself if you're not sure. Abdullah hello, says, okay, what sort of twisted, deranged individual decided that Minesweeper but larger was a good quick time event in a game? I mean, it's not really a quick time event. It is the game. But the premise upon which they've stuck this Minesweeper-like game is that we are investigating a murder. The killer was Sal. Oh dear. Okay, so where were we? I don't think we have enough information for any of these ones yet, but we were working our way here. So this 6 here is already touching 1, 2, 3, 4 and needs 2 more, and there are only 2 more adjacent squares, so therefore these 2 have to be the 2 more to mark this 6. It's a sub-game. I mean, this is the game, but you're also apparently investigating a murder. This is the first one though, so I don't know what that means. We have to solve this one to find out how the game goes. Should the colours be red because of the dead body? They're green. I don't know what to tell you. So it's a Vulcan. Six. This one is touching 5. And this one is touching 2. So one of these has to be light, which means that none of these are light. Gilnox is like, you can partially solve that 3 there. Mm-hmm, I noticed. Ah, stream lag. Sal said she'd strained a muscle in her neck. That's what you get when you don't hold the sniper rifle tight enough. Really? I would have thought the recoil was more likely to wrench your shoulder. She says, having literally never, not even one time, held a... Actually, that's not true. That's not true. I have, as a stage manager, held guns that were made. Like, they were actual guns, but the firing pin had been removed and welded. So I have actually touched guns. I have, now that I think about it. But I've never fired one. Vulcan Murder Mystery is a game you would play? The one below the 3 must be dark as well because of the 4? This 4? This 4 is touching 3, which means that only one of these 2 can be light. Oh, yeah, you're right. We are only looking for 1 light. I was thinking we were looking for 1 dark, but no, you're right. So that has to be dark. Good catch. Also, hi, Mickey Tails. How you doing? Welcome on in. But if one of these 2 is going to solve the 4, that means that is dark. No, you're right. You're right. I never, much as I adore my chat members, I never just take their word for it. Not necessarily because I think they're wrong, but because I like to make sure I understand it. Funny thing, as someone whose dad shoots rifles for hunting and for target practice, it's all connected and you can mess up both your shoulder and your neck, as your father has. Well, yeah, true. That is true. And not necessarily from shooting, but yes, you can indeed screw up your shoulder by screwing up your neck or vice versa. Okay, so this 5 is touching 3 already, which means that 2 of 3 these have to be light. I was thinking, Wanderer, you know all about that, yeah. The square below doesn't have to be dark because of the 4, because the one I just marked dark can be light. Actually, you make a good point. Gilnox. Yeah. If the 6 and the 3 are solved by this being light, then in fact the 4 might be this one. Good point. Good catch. Very good catch. Logical fallacy there. In celebration of the release of Book 10 of Millennium Mage, the author is giving away free audiobook copies of Book 1 if anyone is interested. I'm not familiar with it, but absolutely stick a link in the Discord if you like. Yeah, no, good catch. We process of eliminationed something based on a flawed premise. Lightbox, fighter of Darkbox, locked in eternal battle. You played so much Minesweeper as a kid. I loved Minesweeper. I wasn't necessarily very good at it, but I did love it. Okay, so we're at a bit of an impasse here. What have we got up the top here? There we go. This 5 is going to save us all. You're barely waking up. This game is too much for booting up your brain. That's fair. That's fair. You can just watch me solve it. I'm amazing. I'm going to be so good at this. I am so amazing. That is already touching 3, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. It's so good to hear someone be their own height. Oh, that was 1000% sarcasm, Abdul. Absolutely sarcasm. Not necessarily because I don't think I am amazing, but in recognition of the fact that I'm not actually solving it on my own. Chat are helping. So it's, you know, it's not really right for me to claim all credit. Good morning, Napsa. You've missed most of your alarms again. You feel like they are also confused about summertime. Could be. Could be. This is touching 3. Isn't it? Yeah, so this has to be. Which means this is already touching 3. But this is only touching 1, so that has to be 1. No, Gilnox, go nuts. Go nuts. Like I said, you can download the demo for this as well if you would like to check it out. But I absolutely... One of the... I like to play puzzle games that are logic-based on stream, because at any point you can join the game, and as long as you understand the logical premise, you can just hop straight in. You don't need to, like, if you play something like the House of Da Vinci, those puzzles are less logic and more putting things together that you find in the game. So if you jump into the stream partway through, you can't really make suggestions to the streamer until you've given it a bit of time for you to catch up. Logic games, though, are fantastic for chat being able to just arrive on the stream and go, hey, I can join in on this. So I do really enjoy streaming these kinds of games. So yeah, feel free to join in. Summertime. So have your clocks already changed, Napsa? Because we were having this conversation earlier. I thought that the UK at least was changing their times the same weekend that we did, but apparently some parts of Europe have already done theirs. Sounds like Sweden may be one of them. And Denmark, based on Manaway's comment. You can solve the 5 below and to the right of the 4. Ooh, yes I can. Oh, has UK already changed? Interesting. Interesting. Also, the cat is kind of in the way there. There we go. Okay, so that's the 5, which also, I think, solves the 4. Yes. New Zealand is also Sunday. You're going, yeah, so there won't be any difference between us and you. You will continue to be 2 hours ahead of us. 1, 2, this is already touching 4. And this is already touching 5. And we still don't have enough information to solve this. Arg! Oh, I am mute. Yes, thank you, Firefly Bug. I was just saying that we've now solved this little window by going elsewhere and working our way down, which was one of the things I was saying when I was walking Angel Mart through how the game worked. So you can't always solve it straight away. You got to go somewhere else and make your way down. Waving the mouse around as if I was explaining something or speaking is a pretty good big giveaway, yeah. I did mute because I needed to clear my throat, and then I hit the button, but it obviously didn't actually work. Tux is living his best life, cuddles, treats, nap. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Bubba. Oh, big yawns. Hello. Hi, Scritches. Yeah. Screeches. Okay. Meat? Meat? What? Me? You? What? Napsa? Yeah, we can solve this 5. Good catch. Which also solves this 3. Oh, Tucks have naps. Ah, I see. And the 2, which also then solves that 3. Solve that 7. Which solves the 6, which solves the 4, which solves the 7, and the 5. Ooh, mean. Okay, so that's going to help me, isn't it? Is it? Yes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now we've solved everything except this little wedge here, which is pretty much solved. The Long Island iced tea earlier was so nice you almost want another one, although you might just be giving it credit for the nap. It was a really nice nap. Well, the Long Island iced tea probably would have aided you with your nap. That 3 is solved. Which solves that 3. These are going to be interesting. Is this 5 solved? No. Is this 5 solved? Yes. Does that solve this 5? Yes. Which also solves the 3. And that 5. And that 5. Done. Hi. Hello. Hi, baby. What's up? Yes, you are. I've noticed. Practice in time to see me get it. Excellent. Hi, sweetheart. What's up? What's going on?
Have some candy.
Oh, is that what's going on? Is it time for that? Is it time for that? There is no way you have figured that out. There's absolutely no way. We don't do it reliably every 90 minutes, so there's no way. No, there's no way you figured that out. No, there's not. I'm debating. Normally, I change Tux's dinner time to go with the time change. Yes, I'm solving murders. Yes. So where he currently has dinner at 7, I normally would then just give him dinner at 6 so that it doesn't actually change as far as he's concerned. But that does mean that his meals will go from between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and I don't know that I want that in my life. 6 a.m. is not a time that I should be being woken up because he's all excited about breakfast. Although with the auto feeder, he doesn't necessarily wake me up for breakfast. So I have not yet decided whether dinner time will be the normal time or not. He could be hearing the redeem sound, yes, but he got up and started talking to me before it was redeemed. 6 a.m. is not a valid time, should not exist. Exactly right. Hang on just a sec, chat, and I'll get him sorted. Yeah, you know where they are. Over here. Okay, come on, over here. That's it, good boy. I wish I could have a higher resolution video of him, but I haven't quite figured out how to make that happen. Tux reminded you that the treat button was a thing, prompting chat to redeem the treats. He has trained you well. It's true. Say thanks for my treats, Gilnox. That's it, that's all 6. You got them, buddy. Say thank you. Okay, does that pass muster? That pass muster? And he's gone. And he's gone now. feeling predictable. I got my treats. I'm out of here now. Bye. Thank you very much. Alright, so let's see what this murder investigation is all about. It's the FBI, apparently. I mean, these two NPCs are totally modelled on Fox and Mulder, right? Like, redhead woman, brunette man that's shorter than her. Report made at Tower 11 Pinehaven Park on the 16th of August, 1997. If it's the FBI, they clearly did it. Where does he even go after treats? He's gone into the kitchen to see if there's anything in his bowl. Report made by Redacted. Character of case, ? Fatality report. Synopsis of facts. Victim was found at 8:47 a.m. in Tower 3 of Pinehaven Park after deputies were informed of screams by local hikers. The tower was locked, but the victim's body could be seen on the floor. Deputies found no signs of a struggle and no signs of forced entry. The victim is male, estimated age 25 to 50. 25 to 50, that's a very big range. He could not be identified due to the nature of his injuries, and no identifying documents were found while conducting a search of the body. Ranger McMillan indicated to officers that the tower has remained out of use for many years. Cause of death? ? Head and facial area appear to have suffered intense burns, presumably self-inflicted, as the crime scene was locked from the inside. Oh, Scully was tiny, was she? Yeah. For some reason I was thinking he was shorter than her. Okay. And now what? Hello? Ah, there we go. Wow, not a single bit of flesh left. No hair, no eyes, nothing. Gross. Gross. Gross game. They called us for this. Looks like something crawled in here and started feeding on the body. Ew, more gross. I'm not so sure. Look at the neck wound. A precision cut, sealed with intense heat. Ooh, a self-cauterizing blade. It was cauterized, but how? This report from the local PD doesn't give us the full story. There's much more going on here. It does explain the 25 to 50, it does, yeah. Kind of set up a dramatic revelation. There always is, Kathy. There always is. Let's get this back to the field office and start a full investigation. Oh, wow. Yep. There's no flesh. There's no flesh at all. Okay. So now what are we doing? How do we get it back to the field office? Okay, this is the field office, and this is the watchtower. Oh, okay, so we're in a ranger watchtower. Okay, that wasn't clear to me from the text. Now what are we doing? Evidence? Homicide reports. Okay. As usual, the local PD filed the most minimal report they could. They covered a lot, though. We still don't know how he ended up in that room with the bolt shut. And then was killed by something that burned his head at the perfect temperature to sear flesh but not bone. Let's go over all the things we need to figure out here. Good morning, imaginary exponent. You just missed treats. Just missed. Good morning, imaginary component. What did I say the other day? I said his name so wrong. I said their name wrong the other day. Was that what I said, imaginary component? I said something like that. Male pronouns, fine. Excellent. If you didn't know, you actually can set your pronouns. And all streamers can access them if you set your pronouns at that website there. Not all streamers choose to do so, but we can. So for people who set their pronouns at that site, I can actually see them in my chat. And you can actually set it up so that you can see them in your chat as well. I said imaginary component, and you've been greeting them that way around Twitch ever since. Alright, let's do some more logic puzzles. How do I... As usual. No, we've already done that. I wanna get in here. Hello? Ah! Cause of death? Question mark? His neck. Look, it's completely burned solid at the base. Whatever this was, it was so hot it cauterized the wound instantly. But no burns on the chest or back of any kind. His eyes are completely gone. No soft tissue in the mouth. Gross! It's like his head was incinerated from the inside out. Well, they didn't say anything about brain tissue. Lightsaber. Maybe. Who is he? Having a meme name in a channel means you've been present when something interesting and memorable happened, which makes you an old-timer. Sal's got a quote in her channel, something about once you know all the Sal memes, you are one. Dipped in acid upside down? Certainly, well, that doesn't explain the cauterized wound on the neck, but it certainly would explain the rest of it. It's like Taco. Taco is a meme in this channel. Eating some very spicy food. Perhaps. Who was he? And why would someone do this terrible thing to him? Someone or something? Whoever they were, this was no accident. Is the location significant? Such a strange place to lock yourself up. Sure, it's locked, but there's no escape route for you. Except down. He came all the way out here in the middle of nowhere, but for what? Hi, Tux. What are you doing? Are you coming back up here? Are you coming back up here? Or are you done with your naps for now? Do you want me to open the door so you can look outside? He does not want me to open the door so he can look outside, but I have a suspicion I know what he does want, so I will be back in just a minute. Well, no, that's not what he wanted, so I don't know what he wants. He probably just wants more food. Little greedy guts. Next time we get your blood levels checked, she's going to tell me that you need to be on a higher dose of your thyroid medication, I think. Periapsis did it in the kitchen with a grenade. Indeed. Pineapple grenade into his birthday cake. Hey, Draken Garland, how are you? Alright. So now what are we doing? Do we have somewhere else we can go? Gerardwin, hello! Periapsis bomb, indeed. Periapsis cook. I love it how you called it Periap cook. How are you, Kerry? Happy hump day. Yeah, the door is blinking, but the only locations we can go to is back to the tower. Which, I mean, okay. Ooh. You think a pixie did it? Ah, the Fae. Start on Classic. If this is your first Mosaic game, you can change the difficulty at any point. Well, we can't choose any other one, so... Classic difficulty, relaxed play, no advanced deductions required. I like it. Alright. So do we just click on these and start? Yes. Nice. We got lots of 9s and 0s in this one. No hump day this week. Friday's... Oh, it is too. Yeah, it's Easter Friday. I would love to be able to double click on the 9 to like fill in all of them, but I get why that isn't a thing. Okay, we got any other 9s or 0s? We've got some 8s, but no more 9s, I think. So this is interesting. In the lower left. Where is there a 9? Ah! Left, right, meh. Would the one on the full left be clicked? One over here? No. Because it's not touching anything yet. And there are 6 possible squares. And if you mean this one, same thing, there are 5 possible squares. Liara, hello! That 4? Yes. Yes, we are running a giveaway for the game keys we earned from Daredrop last month. Using bot channel points, not channel points. So thank you for entering the giveaway. We will be drawing it at the end of the month. So you have to wait until the end of the month to know whether or not you won, Liara. Just so you know. It's not happening today. You thought the 1 meant it had to be coloured. No, so what the numbers mean is how many of the adjacent squares are coloured. So this one, of the 9, and it's inclusive of itself. So of the 9 squares that are touching this, 7 of them are light and 2 of them are dark. That's what the numbers mean. So for this one, only 1 of these 6 squares can be light, but we don't know which one it is yet. Yeah, I just looked at the obvious things. I haven't gotten any further yet. So this one's touching 3, which means this one has to be light. This one is touching 4, which means one of these 2 is light and 1 is dark. This one's touching 2, which means 2 of these 3 have to be light. This one's touching 3, which means that only 1 of these 4 squares can be light. So we can't solve this one yet. Can't solve this one yet. Shanasum, hello! Says good dooming, Doomfire in chat, and Tux. Okay. Fours that you're looking at, the lower right one can be partially solved by looking at it and the one above it. True, actually. Yeah. Because this one needs 2 of these 3 to be light, which will also mean that this one has all 4, so we can eliminate these. This is like slightly less stressful Minesweeper. Yeah, no bombs. No bombs. I don't think we can solve those just yet. This is already touching 4, so we can eliminate all of these. Hello, Liara. It is you. Yes, it is. A game without bombs. There are indeed no... Well, we don't know that for sure, but there does not appear to be bombs. Okay, so now we can solve the 7 and the 8. But we can't solve these yet. This is already touching 7. Can solve that one. This is already touching 7, which means both of these have to be light to solve the 2. Which also solves the 1, which also solves that 8. It's extremely rare for Sylphan not to be playing with explosives. I don't always play with explosives. Technically, yes, both of us stream without cameras. That's true. That's true. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, slow down, slow down. We'll get there. A different form of boom biggle. Sounds like someone who plays with explosives would say. You might be able to unlock nuclear bombs in Satisfactory next time. Ooh, big bada boom. So, Gilnox and Deltax, I'm not sure whether I've already solved the ones you're talking about or not. If I haven't, feel free to redirect me. This 6? Yes, it is. Which I think solves this 7. Yes. Which then therefore also solves that 8. And this 8. This is going to be very interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can't solve this one yet. The 5 is solved already. Which also solves that 6. And that 6 is solved, which solves the 5. And that's 7. Breathe bathing your foot. Well, she's just had a bath, so she figures you should have one too. Okay, so then where are we? There we go, solve that. We can solve that 6. Can't solve that 6 yet. Can't solve that 6 yet. We can solve this 6. That 5 is solved. The 7 below by the 5, 4, 6, 5. Oh, this one? Yep. You think I can solve the 7 on the map edge? Yes, I can. Good catch. Good catch. That work the same for any of these? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, this one as well. Okay, so where does that leave me with these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 6. So we need one more of these. One of these 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of these 3. What about you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of these 3. What about no? No. No. Okay, well. I think we have to solve this in order to solve these. So only one of these is dark, and only one of these is dark. Could potentially be the same one in here, but we don't know that yet. Can't solve that one yet. Can't solve that one yet. Can't solve that one yet. All right, let's look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 of these 3 are light. Oops. The 5 by the 0 is solvable? No, it's not. Because one of these 2 has to be light, and we don't know which one it is yet. Oh, not that 0. Where's the other 0? Oh, this one. Oh yeah. I literally just looked at that and went, no, that's more than 5. 5 hours only solved. No. It's touching 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of these two has to be light, and we don't know which one yet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 out of 3 are light. That's solved. That's solved. Which means that has to be that. So that solves that corner. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Which also solves the 5. Can't solve the 3 yet. The 4 is solved. Which solves the 5, and the 2 solves the 4, and the 6 solves the 5, that solves the 4. Okay, that solves that. Arriving at work, have a good time, start half an hour. Bye, Nafsa, have a good day at work. 1, 2, oh, that 4 is solved. Wow, that 4, oh no, we just solved it. I was going to say, that 4's been solved for ages, but no, it hasn't. So that solves both of those. Hang on, this 3 is solved. Which solves the 4. And that solves the 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that solves the 8. And that solves the 5. Also solves the 5, which also solves the 8. Okay. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 of these have to be light. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Both of those have to be light, which means that has to be dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So 3 out of these 4 have to be light. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 out of these 3 have to be light. I can solve the 3. You are correct. Yes. Solves that 6. Done. Whew. Whew. Okay, this game is way too fun, and I've got other games I need to do a first look at. So, ooh. I could happily do a whole stream of this game. I can just play this the whole stream. But we can't do that. We can't do it. I've got other ones I need to cover. Report made at Nazca Desert, Peru, between 500 BC and 500 AD. This report, this typed FBI report, was made in Peru between 500 BC and 500 AD? Really? Really? I can do it just later. Yeah, we might have to continue this one, I think. This is fun. I mean, I really love logic puzzles that are actually logical. Yeah, the FBI has been around a while. The FBI has been around for even longer than the USA, apparently. Between 500 BC and 500 AD, an unknown culture in Peru's Nazca Desert created over 1,300 massive ground drawings spanning nearly 200 square miles. These geoglyphs were etched into the oxidized surface rock to expose the light sand beneath, creating images that could only be viewed from a great height. Some are geometric patterns with straight lines extending for miles, others are detailed animal figures such as birds, monkeys, sea creatures, and a 1,200-foot spider. They were Australians, actually. They did it in Peru, but they were Australians. One recent AI analysis of satellite data identified a further 300 geoglyphs that had not yet been spotted by human researchers. Exactly how the Nazca culture were able to create such massive, accurate designs without a bird's eye view continues to defy explanation, and their purpose remains unknown. Proposed theories include astronomical calendars and ritual pathways. Reach attribution, Diego Delso, https://delso.photo, license CC BY-SA. I don't know what that means. You can click and drag. Oh yeah, you can. But you can also just scroll up and down. FBI founded the USA to fund itself. Ah, dear. All right, there's half an hour until Tux's dinner time. Let's play a little bit more until then. Creative Commons. Yeah, but what does the BY-SA mean? Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. SI is share alike. Okay. That means that has to be light. In other words, if you release a derivative work, it has to use the same license. Oh, that's interesting. Credit must be given to the creator. Ah, thank you. Oh, click and drag to fill out the squares. Oh, okay, interesting. We'll try that. Although, that might not give us the really satisfying clicky-clicky noise. That might be a deal breaker, Firefly Bug. The clicky-clicky noise is very satisfying. Oops. Why am I zooming? I don't mean to do that. Oh, we still get the clicky-clicky noise if we click and if we drag. It's okay. Crisis averted. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. one of these two has to be light, which means this one has to be dark. Which means that all of these are light. And therefore these are dark. Oh yeah, one turns off the three. Good call. Those all have to be light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 is solved. That solves the 7. And that solves the 6. Okay. So we've got some zeros up here. Yes, it is nearly your dinner time, it's true. It is very nearly your dinner time. Also, you moved my little sound baffle thing. Yes. How do we narrow this down? Yes. Ah, the 6. 6 solves it. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does all the 4s. Yeah, soon. Soon, Tux. Soon. Trademark. Soon. But not now. Soon, but not now. You're starting to understand the game? I'm happy to explain it. I was explaining it earlier for somebody else. It's logic a la Minesweeper. If you've ever played Minesweeper, it's exactly the same logic process. Report made at Dayton, Texas, USA on the 29th of December 1980. Cash Landrum incident. Synopsis of facts: on December 29, 1980, Betty Cash, Vicky Landrum, and her 7-year-old grandson Colby were driving home near Dayton, Texas, when they encountered a massive diamond-shaped craft hovering over their road. The object emitted intense heat and flames from its base, forcing them to stop their car as the metal became too hot to touch. Vicky briefly exited to observe the craft before the terrified group watched it ascend above the tree line. Really? She got out of the car to look at it, even though she was terrified. Okay. Within minutes, 23 military helicopters, Boeing CH-47 Chinooks with US Air Force markings, surrounded the object in tight formation before escorting it away. The encounter lasted approximately 20 minutes, leaving the witnesses shaken but initially unaware of the consequences to follow. Hours later, all 3 developed severe symptoms resembling radiation poisoning: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and burning sensation. Betty suffered the most extreme effects, developing large, painful blisters, losing patches of hair, and experiencing symptoms her physician later described as a textbook case of radiation exposure comparable to being 3 to 5 miles from ground zero at Hiroshima. Vicky developed cataracts, and young Colby suffered lasting trauma and physical effects. The victims filed a $20 million lawsuit against the US government, claiming the craft was a secret military experiment. Despite the consistent witness testimony and documented medical evidence, the case was dismissed when authorities denied any knowledge of the incident or the helicopters involved. Kind of tricky that the numbers also count their own tiles if you used to Minesweeper. Minesweeper counted its own tiles as well. Otherwise you would never have had 9s. Or 0s. Or did... No, it didn't have 0s, it had blanks, right? Did it not have 9s? Did it not count? It didn't count its own... really... God, it's been such a long time since... I thought it did count its own tiles. There you go. There you go. Okay, that one didn't take us very long. Let's solve this one. You remember it having 9s and 9 remaining clicked on a bottom. Okay, I stand corrected. I thought it was the same. Anyway, same logic though. The same logic applies. And also, this is how I used to start Minesweeper games as well. Look for any obvious, immediately solvable ones. I sit corrected. I see. I see. Is that how it is, Liara? Well, that's going to be interesting because Tux is... Darling, hop off. There you go. Tux was half on my desk and half on his own. And now he's like, what is going on? Why is it moving? I know. You can stay on your desk. You're going to sit on my chair, aren't you? The stand-up time is going to go down and my bot's going to tell me that I can sit down now, and I'll turn around and the chair will be occupied. Now I stand corrected. I see. Alright, any more 0s or any 9s? He also thinks that I stood up to give him dinner. I think this 3 now is solvable. It is. Left side edge 8. Ah, yes. Oops, wrong button. And then the 7 above it. And the 6. That doesn't actually help us much. This 7. Which also solves this 4. This 6 is also solved. As is that 5 and now that 5. One of these 2 is light. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of these 4 is light. But we can't assume that it will be this one. So we can't eliminate anything here yet. Alright, what else can we do? 5 by the 0 on the side is solvable. Yes, which also solves the 2. And the 1. Can't quite solve that. We can solve this 3. Partially solve the 4, you reckon? I don't see how we can partially solve the 4. This 4? The square by the 1 must be light because the other 3 squares can't all be light due to the 3. Ah. Yeah, okay. Which solves the 1. But yeah, for anybody who's confused by what Gilnox just said, let me just undo that. I can't remember what we had, but anyway. So this 3 is already touching 1 tile, which means it can only be touching 2 more tiles. And this 4 is already touching 1, and therefore needs to be touching 3 more, and it cannot be more than 2 of these 3 tiles here, because if all 3 of these are light, that breaks the 3. So Gilnox is saying that we can solve this square here and say this has to be light because only 2 of the other 3 can be light and we need 4 touching this. So that's that if you were confused. So that also solves the 3. Up here. Which also, I think, solves the 5. And that 4. And that 6. Well, this whole corner's taking care of itself. Hey, Pyrophoria! Evening, what are we playing? Minesweeper with extra steps. Kind of, yeah. This is Mosaic of the Strange. We're only going to play it for another 10-12 minutes. We're going to play it until Tux's dinner time. I didn't expect to get quite so involved in this one. We've been playing it so far the whole stream. I've got more games that I want to have a first look at tonight. How are you? The other tiles by the 3 would be dark because 2 of the tiles by the 4 must be light. Yeah, I thought about that, but I'm not sure that I want to... I suppose we can eliminate those. Which actually solves that. Which also solves that. How are my beavers? Yeah, we haven't been back to Timberborn yet. We might be doing that next week. You're well, your beavers have unlocked the power of metal and thus zip lines. It is a game changer, it is. The problem with zip lines is that you have to build a way up to build the zipline station first. So where does that leave us? So yeah, one of these has to be dark and one of them has to be light. And we probably can't answer that until we know whether or not this is light or dark. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that answers that actually. So yeah, so that means that's dark, that's light. Done. It's a whole thing, it really is. I mean, the tubeways in Iron Teeth you still have to build too, but because you can build from within the tube, you can tunnel and build the tube as you go. So you don't have to get there first. You can build your way to it. So that has to be... That solves that 5, which solves that 5. And also that 4. You haven't played with Iron Teeth yet? Yeah, so they can build from inside the tube. So they build one and then they can build the next one from inside that tube. So they can just build their way out to wherever you want to put the tube station. You love getting sure things out of things that look like they couldn't possibly be sure things. So that 7 is solved. Which solves that 4. That 5 is solved there, which solves the 4. Oops. I don't think any of these are solved yet, which is interesting. The 6 below the 4 is solvable. This one. Oh, so it is. So it is. Which is also that 4 there. And that 4 there. Which solves both those 3s. DC's getting frustrated with the fact that we haven't touched over here yet. Okay. That solves that 5. Which also solves that 5. And that's 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Solves that 4. Okay, so that solves that. The 4 at the top is already solved. Oh, so it is. Can't do any of this up here, can we? Have we got anything else on the edge that we can solve? We can solve this 3. Okay, so that's all the obvious ones. This 5 is solvable, you reckon? Not this 5. This 5? Ah, yes. Which also solves that 5, which will solve that 5. Which solves that 4. And that 4. And I can put my desk down now. Actually could have done that a while ago, but I was standing up now. The top right, no, so there's 4 squares here that it could be, so we can't eliminate that yet. This 3 is solved, which solves that 3. Yeah, so this one includes itself. Which I had thought that was the way Minesweeper worked as well, but people whose memories are far more reliable than me have assured me that that's not the case. Yes, it is your dinner time. Yes, it is. So 1, 2, so only one of these 4 can be light. And only one of these 5 can be light. But only one of these 2 can be light. I don't see how this is partially solvable. Yes, it is dinner time. Is the whole puzzle definitely solvable, or do you have to guess some of them like you used to with old school Minesweeper? The entire puzzle is solvable without guessing. The other tiles around it would be dark green. Because of the 4. Yeah, okay, so one of these 2 tiles has to be light, which solves the 3, so these have to be dark. I see what you mean. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. That's apparently a setting, though. It allows you to turn on some advanced logic. I think that's in the higher difficulty levels, but I haven't actually... It will only let me play in classic difficulty at the moment. I think I have to complete a certain amount before I can go to the higher difficulties. But I'm comfortable with it always being solvable without guesswork, because as far as I'm concerned, logic puzzles, you should never have to guess if it's a logic puzzle. You should never have to guess. Even if it is an educated guess, you shouldn't have to guess. In that case, you can probably solve the top right 3 by elimination. Only the 2 can interfere with it, so it must be dark, otherwise you'd have to guess a square. Maybe. Maybe. But let's wait until we get there and confirm. Although that won't be tonight, because it is Tux's dinner time and we need to move on to some other games. You don't follow? So what Pyrophoria is saying is that this 2 here is the only tile that can affect which of these 4 tiles are going to be light and dark. The 5's too far away. So, if we are proceeding on the basis that we never have to guess, then the only way that this combination can be informed is by this 2 here, which only interacts with this square. And if this square is light, then that means that only 2 of these 3 will be light, and we would have to guess one because there's nothing around it to inform us. So therefore, this has to be dark and these have to be light. That's what Pyrophoria was saying. Does that make sense? Yeah, explaining it via text, no. Alright, I'm going to go take my break and feed the cat, and when we come back, we are going to play probably Railroad Corporation 2, just for a bit of a change. Or maybe I'll put up a poll. Actually, let's do that. I never do that. Let's do a poll. That's exciting.